Hi, this is Guernica Mancini from The Jams, and you're watching CMS TV.
It is Chris Akin Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Akin. And today on the show, it is a return of a band that I have loved for a lot of years. The band is Lion's Share. They have a brand new release called Inferno out on March the 27th. And here to talk all about it, talk about the return, and talk about the new record, it is the guitarist of the band, Mr. Lars Chris. Lars, how are you?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to speak to you, man. You guys continue to make it easy for me when you give me good music, because it's not like I got to suffer through something to try and find something good. This is a great record, man. Start to finish, just an excellent release, man.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we worked hard on it for many years.
Well, and we will definitely get into that, man. But let's talk about Inferno a bit. From reading the press, which take that for what that is, but from reading what I've read in the bio and whatever, you personally look at this as more of a statement for you. It's like, I know you said it's the most focused record of your career. After so long working on this and refining the songs and whatnot, what makes this so much more of a focused, perfect statement record for you and for Lion's Share?
Well, it's probably mostly all the years we've been able to revisit and refine and live with the material. So, and also we had much more songs than we used on the album, obviously. So we really were able to pick the ones that fit together as an album, because we're old guys. We love albums. We tried this single thing for a while, and our fans didn't appreciate it in the end either. It was cool to have new music, obviously, for the fans, and it was nice for us to have them as we are still alive, and here we are right now, and all that stuff. But every time it was like, come on, guys, no more singles, give us an album.
Right on. Now with this, I know Nils Patrick Johansson mentioned, that taking nearly 2 decades between full records was not the original plan. What pushed you away from doing that and versus just continually writing and pushing out new full albums at the time?
The thing is, we've been writing all the time. We released the last album, Dark Hours, in 2009, and then we toured another couple of years. But we kept on writing all the time. But the music industry was in a turmoil. I felt around that time. Spotify was just new around that time, and the record sales after that big economical crisis in 2008, whatever it was not good. So we felt, let's chill out, see what happens with the record industry, where things are going. I know that other genres stopped releasing CDs, only went over to digital. So it was more, I said, let's wait and see what's going on with the record business. If there still is a record business. And back then there was, now we have vinyls and stuff that are really hip, but back then it wasn't vinyls to a very big extent either. So, and then I work as a producer and mixer, and jobs kept coming in, and that takes a lot of time. So, I mean, I worked on that, but we actually live like 3 hours away from each other, Patrick and I.
Okay.
So he came to my studio a couple of times a year, and we wrote songs, and then we did stuff on our own.
Sure. Was it just one of those situations that happens in real life, not just in music life, but where something you put it off for a year, and a year becomes 2, and 2 becomes 5, where just life in general did not allow you to come back to being focused on Lion's Share? Is that what happened there, sort of?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm shocked. It's been 17 years. I can't believe it. It's crazy. But we decided to come back 2020 to release a new album, and we had booked shows and everything. We were in Germany playing a couple of headline shows, and we were flying back to Sweden from Frankfurt on a Sunday, and on 3 days later, on the Wednesday, the whole world shut down because of COVID.
Right.
So that stopped us for another couple of years.
Sure. That had to feel like a backbreaker to you, no? Just because you finally get it back together, you're getting moving again, and all of a sudden, full stop, you know?
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't release albums, because we released Dark Hours, and there was that economical bank crisis or whatever. And then let's do another album, and COVID hits, and now let's make an album, and there's war everywhere. So maybe we shouldn't release any albums.
Yeah, might be dangerous to get another Lion's Share album. That might mean the meteor's finally going to hit us or something.
Something will happen for sure.
No question. Well, Lars, obviously, you and Nils are the core of the band. Having that many songs, like Nils is I interviewed Nils with his 400 projects as well. And you know, you guys are very creative people. Yourself, him, you know, your whole band, really. If I know anything about you creative people, you hold on to every one of your songs like it's your child. You know, I can't imagine for you and for him that having this bank of songs that you've been working on since 2009 or whatever, you had to want to release it. Was there a part of you that just really wanted to get it out there, but held it back, or what?
Yeah, but we had the outlet of releasing the digital singles. And one good thing about that stuff is that you can really focus on just one song instead of being in the studio and recording 10 or whatever. It's really just 100% focus. And also when you release it, you can make a press release and a lyric video, whatever. And it's 100% focus, because usually when you release an album, if you look at stats from whatever band on Spotify or whatever, it's like the 3 first songs people listen to, and then it drops off, and no one listens to the last couple of songs. And we think all the songs on this album are as good as any. You know, this last track is as good as the first one.
Sure.
So that's a pity. So that's a good thing about this single thing, that you really give every song a chance to shine.
Definitely. Well, Lars, let's dig into the record a little bit. For anybody that has followed Lion's Share through the decades, the thing that has always made you guys, to me anyway, the most interesting is the way that you guys balance heaviness with hooks. You know, I mean, you have very sharp riffs, you have very highlighted guitars, but then you have the big hooks that even the most commercial fan can get into. Inferno feels a little different to me. It feels like it's way heavier than what you guys have done from start to finish in the past. Is it that way? And if it is, how did it end up so much heavier than previous material?
This is the first album I mixed myself, so I think I finally managed to have the sound that I was looking for. Otherwise, you leave the material to someone else, and they've been really great guys and great sounding albums. But this time I could, approve of everything before it got released. So I think that's a big part of it.
Right on, definitely. Well, let's dig into some of the songs. Another Desire comes out immediately, first single, deals with addiction and, how destructive addiction can be to people. Is that a real world track, or is that something that you kind of observed around you and wrote music about, or how does that song come to be?
Yeah, I think it's mostly Patrick that come up with the subjects and write the actual words, the lyrics, even though we make the melodies together. But he's interested in what's going on and history and all that stuff. So I think he draws from everywhere. The only thing I have said is no religion, no politics.
Hey, you. Why are you watching this with commercials? Go commercial-free and unlock exclusive content. Become a VIP today on Locals, Substack, or Rumble Premium. Stop waiting.
Good call there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to lose half of the audience.
Right. Well, and the thing is you can go anywhere else to get politics. That's for sure. You don't need it in your music.
No.
No question. Well, Lars, one of the things that I saw in the press that I thought has to be great from a chemistry standpoint in the band is the return of Kay Backlund on keys. How does Kay come back to the band, and did it change, how you guys were working, having Kay's influence back in the sound?
No, I mean, Kay and I formed a band. We were living in the same town back then. He still lives there. I moved to Sweden, to Stockholm.
Right.
But he was the keyboard player for the first 3 albums, and there was a lot more keyboards and stuff, and we wrote the songs together. And then he went away for a while, and if I need keyboards, he's the guy. And we also have actually my girlfriend doing some keyboards on the album, but it's not very much keyboard these days compared to the first couple of albums. But he's a great guy, and we also have Andy Luce back, who played bass on the debut album.
Right.
He's been with us since 2010 now. We're playing live and making all these recordings. So
sure.
It's the old gang almost.
Well, do you think that right now is a better time than maybe the first run of Lion's Share? Only because while metal is definitely more underground than it's ever been before, I think the fan base is happy to keep it there now. The fan base is really kind of holding on to it as their own, in the wake of what is popular today, which not many of us are loving.
No, and it's very, what you say, fractured everything. But when I grew up, everybody knew when a band released something. It was in the printed magazines and stuff, and you even know Madonna or Michael Jackson, whatever, you couldn't avoid it. But these days, it's it's really tough to break through the buzz of everything. But obviously, we were happy to have the social media and to keep our older fans updated and close to us, and give them these digital singles and stuff. But hopefully, we can reach out to totally new generation of Lion's Share fans, because we've been away for so long. So we meet like 2 generations.
Sure. Well, Lars, with the return of Lion's Share, I have to imagine, and also with the release of Inferno, I have to imagine the goal is to get out on the road again and tour. It's a very different time these days as far as touring. What are you guys' touring plans? Do you plan to get out of Europe and play other places? Will we see you here? Is that impossible because of money? Kind of break that down for us.
Yeah, it's really tough to tour abroad. So we have 6 or 7 dates lined up in Sweden for now, but we hope to play all around Europe, Japan, US, everywhere it's possible. But as you say, it's we need someone to bring us, and there must be demand and the economics and all that stuff. So it's sort of out of our hands, but we really want to do it.
Sure. How frustrating is that for you? Because it almost feels like, in one sense, the internet is great because it allows people that might not have heard Lion's Share before to hear the band. And the other side of that, though, is that now everybody looks at those numbers and only instead of the quality of the material and the quality of the live performance when booking shows. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing, the way that the internet has changed the game so much?
I think it's a bad thing, because people can fake those numbers and buy stuff, and it's more about technology if you know the tricks and stuff. So I don't trust any of those numbers for any bands.
Right. Understand that. Well, Lars, obviously you've toured with some of the biggest bands in history, with Dio and Motörhead and Saxon, and you guys have shared stages with the elite. When you've done that, and this is kind of more of a history question than anything, but when you've done that, when you play with a Dio or Saxon or whatever, do you watch what they do, not necessarily just because you love the music, but because you want to see if you can learn something from them that helps you elevate your game, with Lion's Share?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. You see it, but not that I go and look for it, but obviously you pick up stuff, and those were amazing tours, and to be able to tour with the bands you grew up worshiping in your boy teenage bedroom, it was mind blowing
Right.
to hang out and play with them.
I can't even imagine just walking backstage and, like, I don't know, Lemmy walks by, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they were also great to us, all the bands.
Sure.
And Lemmy was so funny. When we did sound check, he usually came up to the stage and said a lot of stuff which I didn't understand because of his voice and accent being
Right.
Swedes, being up on stage. But yeah, I laughed anyways.
Very nice.
He was a really funny guy.
Yeah, he
Nice
definitely
guy.
was. Good guy. He really was. But
Yeah. And
well,
we
Lars,
also
okay,
obviously had Mickey D on the tour as well. Being a
sure.
Swede, we had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of Sweden, for back when Lion's Share came out, and from like 94, 5, somewhere in there to mid 2000s anyway, it seemed like every good quality power metal band came from Sweden. There was just so much of it that was coming out at the time. What is that scene like now? Is it still strong, or is it now, like everything else, falling into rap and K-pop and, all that other junk? I mean, what is the Swedish scene these days?
No, I think it's better than it was back then when you
Okay.
look at audiences and festivals and shows and stuff. And that rap thing wasn't really big here, and
Okay.
not K-pop, maybe among kids and stuff. But same thing with the 90s. Grunge wasn't really that big here either. So I think the US were more uh,
Trendy?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Europe kept the true heavy metal alive, especially Germany and Sweden, Finland.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, living here in the United States, I could tell you, Lars, there's a lot of jealousy of you guys' metal scene over there in Europe, just because, like we said, it is so trendy over here, and it's like, well, if one band catches even a little bit of popularity here, then 50 bands come from out of nowhere sounding exactly the same. Where the spirit of heavy metal seems much more alive in Europe. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the European audience has never jumped on the trendy bandwagon and still accepts, music that's like Man of War sounding stuff, 40 years down the road?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, we just stay true to ourselves. I mean, I grew up with this kind of music, and why should I change my taste only because something is in the charts or on TV or whatever? It doesn't work that
Right,
way.
certainly. All right. Well, Lars, obviously with the band back, Inferno getting ready to be released here. The comeback is now official. You guys are officially back. What does that mean for you? Does it become full time again? Like you said, you do a lot of production and studio work now. Is that still your focus, or is Lion's Share your focus, or where are we at with the level of comeback that this is?
Yeah, I can't do a lot of the mixing and producing anymore if we want to see Lionsshare doing stuff because it occupies all my time. So we're back 100%. We have shows booked, and we have a back catalog that's never been released on vinyl that we hope
Okay.
to release. That's 6 albums, and
Great.
they've been remastered with new cover artwork and stuff. So we hope for some re-releases. And also a new album, hopefully 2027 in the autumn or fall or something like that.
Step back into time and flip into fun at Pinball PA, the ultimate arcade and museum where classic games come alive. Located off Broadhead Road in the Hopewell Shopping Center, Pinball PA invites you to play with 400 pinball machines and video games, from rare gems to your all-time favorites like Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Asteroids, Frogger, and the latest pinball hits. Perfect for families, friends, field trips, birthdays, and gamers of all ages, Pinball PA is open Tuesdays through Sundays with unlimited play for one low price. No quarters needed. Learn more at pinballpa.com.
So do you have is that already like music that's already written, or not yet, or where are you at with that?
Yeah, we have plenty of material, so we could release both 2 and 3 albums.
Oh wow.
But we need to record it, obviously, and
Sure.
refine and all that stuff. But yeah, we have plenty of material.
Sure. Yeah, you know what's funny though, Lars, and you know this. You know, there's a ton of bands. I've interviewed a zillion bands, and they always have those songs that are for the next record. But it always seems like when you guys go back, that's like, I'm done with that one now. I'm going to write new material. Is that how you work? And do you think that will be part of the 2027 album put together? As you might use a few, but you'll probably write 5 or 6 brand new songs.
Oh, sure. It's going to be a mix. You pick and choose. And like with Inferno, we want to have it like a journey. We don't want to have songs that sound the same. Tempo, key, and you know, feel and all that stuff. So we're gonna pick another 9 or 10 songs that's gonna be great, I'm sure.
Right, definitely. Well, what you've given us right now is great. The new album is called Inferno. March 27th is when you can get it officially. I suggest you pre-order it. Lars, on this show, we always try to tell people, if you're going to stream it, fine, stream it. You know, it helps the band a little, but buy something, you know, buy a shirt, buy a hat, keychain, whatever it would be. Where is the best place for us to send people to buy Lion's Share merch, whether it's a vinyl or a CD or whatever?
Yeah, they have this pre-order links from the record company, and we try to spread them on our Facebook and YouTube and wherever we can. In press releases and stuff. So that's a good place. When it comes to merch, I think it's probably right now best to contact the band on our homepage or Facebook or something. We will try to set up a web shop.
Okay, excellent. Well, one more time, the album is called Inferno. The band is Lion's Share. March 27th is the date. And Lars, this has been fun. Thanks for joining me here on Chris Akin Presents.
Thank you very much.
Get more metal in your inbox. The Classic Metal Show is on Substack. Listen or watch for free, or subscribe for VIP exclusive content. Find us at cmspn.substack.com.